Hey guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about Deanne Hastings. Okay guys, I just wanted to add this in. I don't know if she went by Deanna, and I feel bad because throughout the video I called her Deanna, and I think that's because I had a friend who had a daughter named Deanna. So I know her name is Deanne. I don't know if she went by Deanna, but I just wanted to throw this little blurb in there. Okay, thanks guys, bye. You guys know I hate to have to even say this, but everything in this video belongs to me. It's my reading, it comes from me. If you want to share it with a friend, that's great. If you try to steal it, because we all know that happened before, if you try to steal it, then I will have to do something legally concerning that. So I hate saying that, y'all, but I have to say it. I also have to say this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about Deanne Hastings today. Pay no attention to the hair. I got a new hair tool and I'm trying to use it. Trying to learn how to use it. It's tough, you guys. It sucks. I'm struggling. Okay, so here we go, guys. Deanna Crider Hastings was born February 27th, 1980 in Pahrump, Nevada. She was a 35-year-old mother of three when she disappeared from Spokane, Washington on November 4th of 2015. So Deanna had a history of bipolar disorder. She had a history of going missing and even attempted offing herself. Just months before she vanished this final time, she'd been out of touch with all of her friends and family for 6 days. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay guys, Mike Tibbetts and Deanna became engaged around 2 months after she disappeared the first time in June of 2015. This time around, Deanna didn't return. She had a long history of disappearing in the past. Period. On Tuesday, November 3rd, 2015, Deanna attended her first day of cosmetology school at Glendale Academy, just 6 blocks from where her vehicle was later discovered. Deanna spent the latter part of her evening with her daughter-in-law, Melanie Green, doing their nails and discussing their relationships with the men in their lives, as they frequently did. At 9:30 p.m., Melanie Green went home. Deanna responds to a text that Melanie sent sometime between 9:30 and 10 o'clock when Melanie arrived home. Deanna's last text to Melanie was, "Love you, see you soon." At 10 p.m., that was when Deanna sent her last text. She texted her son Hayden, telling him she went to school that day and she hopes that he's proud of her. Around 10 to 10:15 p.m., Deanna leaves a handwritten note for her fiance, Mike Tibbetts, saying she's going to the store while she made her way to a downtown nightclub. Mike returned home a few minutes after Deanna was gone. Mike had worked the 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift that day. He claims he got home and found a note from Deanne that said she had a good day and she had just gotten done doing her nails and she was going to run to the store. Apparently, Mike Tibbetts had refused to hand the note to the police, saying it's the last thing he received from her. What in the actual... What do you mean you're not going to give it to the police? Really? If in fact she left him this supposed note, it makes no sense that he wouldn't give it to the police, right? Yeah. 11:30 p.m. Mike gets concerned that Deanna isn't home from the store since the store is only 5 minutes away. He says he was worried about Deanne, so he drove to the store. Mike said the store was closed, so he drove home. So Wednesday, November 4th, 2015, Mike tracks Deanna's phone to a parking lot at 919 Sprague in downtown Spokane, which is next to the Knitting Factory, a music venue just 6 blocks from the cosmetology school Deanna attended the morning before. Mike decides to wait by Deanna's car for the rest of the night. What? The temperature was below freezing that night, so it's strange that he would sit there all night. Deanna hadn't been robbed because Mike had found her purse and cell phone inside of her car. Mike claimed he stayed by Deanna's car for the night because he didn't want anyone to break into her car and steal her purse. Bullshit. However, Mike leaves Deanna's car parked in that same spot in Spokane with her purse and cell phone inside for 4 more nights. Yeah, didn't make sense, dude. He didn't bother to call a locksmith to open the car or anything. So, hello. We now know that Deanne met a grocery store employee and she spent the night with the employee. Supposedly, the employee met Deanne in front of the knitting factory and they went off to party together for the night. In the morning, the grocery store employee took Deanna where he worked to purchase cigarettes. The employee says when he got back to his car, she was gone and she had left her keys behind. He drove around the shopping center, but he didn't see Deanne, so he left. Deanne was just 2 miles from home then, and she would end up walking most of those 2 miles in the direction of her home later that afternoon. Between 7:30 and 8 a.m., Mike calls Glendale Academy to see whether Deanne has shown up for her second day of classes. Glendale Academy is located 6 blocks from where Deanna had left her vehicle. Mike must have made quite an impression on whomever he spoke with at Dow Academy because the school owner offered to start making missing persons flyers right away. Mike says he then began to distribute the flyers all over downtown Spokane. Keep in mind, Deanne had taken off many times, so why now was Mike so concerned that he needed to pass out missing persons flyers? It doesn't make sense. Mike doesn't go to work during the first 24 hours that she had disappeared. At 12:23 p.m., Officer Davida Zinkraff responds to numerous calls for a welfare check requested by strangers in the shopping center parking lot of what is now Yoke's Fresh Market. The witnesses reported a disoriented and possibly intoxicated adult woman who had entered a salon and called the woman working there mommy, who was now laying on the ground and claiming to witnesses that she may have been drugged, kidnapped, and beaten. Deanne would not speak to EMTs or police when they arrived, nor would she give anyone her name or where she lived, although she did tell the ladies attempting to intervene on her behalf that she didn't want to go home. Officer Zinkraff continued to observe Deanne for about another 20 minutes and then reluctantly left. At 12:30 p.m., Deanna enters the grocery store where she uses her debit card to purchase energy drinks, string cheese, birthday candles, cigarettes, and vodka. Mike, who had been out distributing missing persons flyers, says he received an alert on his phone that Deanne's card was used at the grocery store where that grocery store employee that Deanna had spent the night with worked. Mike took the alert to mean Deanna as well and made the purchase so he doesn't go to the store to check on her. What? You're handing out missing persons flyers. You get this on your phone and you don't even go to check on her? What the hell? Mike says he believed Deanne would come back to her vehicle. Okay, whatever, dude. Sometime after 12:30 p.m., Deanna encounters Randy Riley and his friend James on their way to a storage unit Randy had rented that is within 2 blocks of the grocery store where Deanna had just made her purchases. According to both Randy and James, they hung out with Deanne for a few hours. Storage facility surveillance shows the 3 of them smiling and interacting in a very friendly manner. The 2 men are on bicycles. The men don't appear to have access to a vehicle. At 1:30 p.m., storage surveillance shows Randy, Deanne, and James leaving the storage facility. At 2:30 p.m., information received by police on November 25th, 2015, 3 weeks after Deanna's disappearance and after Randy Riley's name was released to the media, Randy's landlord, who was in the process of evicting him, claims that she remembers seeing Deanne with Randy and another man on Wednesday, November 4th, near where he claims that he left her and that Deanne was sitting or laying on the ground. Another woman who lived near Inland Empire Way believes that she saw Deanne walking with Randy and James on Inland Empire Way and lying on the ground on that day as well. That witness claims that she was concerned enough to stop and ask Deanne if she was okay because she was laying on the ground. Deanne told the witness that she was upset because she was going through a divorce and she seemed in control enough of herself that the neighbor moved on. Randy Riley doesn't deny that he was with Deanne on that last day that she was seen, nor does he deny that he was the last person willing to admit to having seen her. A few hours after Mike learns Deanna used her card at the grocery store, he finally decides to leave Deanne's car downtown and go to the store with Deanne's missing flyers in hand. There, Mike had his first encounter with the grocery store employee, the one that Deanne had spent the night with, in the parking lot. The grocery store employee says Deanne looks familiar, but he said it's probably not the same girl. It is possible that Deanne may have not looked exactly like her photos because she was disheveled, or it's possible that the employee didn't want to admit to this frantic man that he had spent the night with her. The employee may have been wary, for good reason, of becoming involved in what appeared to be a domestic situation. Mike entered the grocery store and asks another employee if he would be able to look at the store's surveillance video. Mike said the employee said that he would have to speak with the manager, so he called the manager the next day, and the manager said that he could come in Saturday and look through it. Mike does not report taking the missing persons flyer to the surrounding businesses in the shopping center where the grocery store was located, but he could have. Thursday, November 5th, 2015, Mike finally reports Deanna missing to the police. He then calls the manager of the grocery store where Deanne's credit card was last used. Rather than calling Deanne's son and her son's girlfriend, who were the last people that Deanne texted with, he goes to the media. Deanne's mother learned that her daughter was missing from Deanne's brother, who lived in Texas, who found out from a friend in Spokane that saw it on TV. Are you freaking kidding me? Saturday, November 7th, 2015, Mike was able to view the surveillance video at the grocery store where Deanne had made her purchases. She is alone on the video and clearly disoriented, as other witnesses described. On Sunday, November 8th, 2015 at 6 a.m., Mike receives a call from the grocery store employee that has been following the media coverage of Deanne's disappearance, and he now thinks that she's the one that he had spent the night with. Around 10:30 a.m., the employee meets with Mike and gives him Deanne's keys, because remember, she had left her keys there and he couldn't find her anywhere. Mike then goes and retrieves Deanne's phone and removes her vehicle from downtown Spokane. Sometime after 5 p.m. that day, Mike raises some sort of a mini posse consisting of a couple of friends, and they go to the grocery store employee's house. The employee cooperates, and there's no sign of Deanne. On December 10th, 2015, Randy Riley is arrested for identity theft. He admits to using Deanne's credit and debit cards. Randy first says Deanne gave him the cards to get something to eat. He then gave a second version of how he obtained Deanne's cards. He said on November 5th of 2015, he was in a truck belonging to a friend who was helping him move from the apartment that he was being evicted from to a nearby storage unit where he and James had hung out with Deanne the day before, and he came across Deanne's coat containing her wallet, or at least whatever credit cards and ID she had taken with her when she left her purse and phone in her vehicle. And according to her brother Carson, finds Deanne's coat and shoes and takes Randy to them. Okay. Randy claims that these items were in the approximate area where he and James had last seen Deanne. In an interview with Randy while he was in jail, he claims that he disposed of Deanne's coat and shoes and threw her ID out in downtown Spokane to make it appear that she had been somewhere other than the last place he and James claimed they saw Deanna, near the hill. Apparently, Mike commented at some point that he and Diane had a great relationship and said something to the effect of they never argued. Amanda Ladd is a longtime friend of Deanne's. She shared text messages with the police that showed Deanne had been telling her best friend for weeks that she wanted to leave Mike. Deanne had said she was done and she believed Mike was drugging her. When Mike was confronted with the information, he admits the weeks before her disappearance, Deanne was hearing voices and thought neighbors and an ex-boyfriend were breaking into their house, drugging the water supply, and or trying to kill her. And she even accused Mike of being in on the conspiracy. Deanne didn't mention the neighbor or her ex-boyfriend to Amanda. Yeah. Okay, Deanna's new daughter-in-law, Melanie Green, stated in an interview, although she never witnessed any fights between Deanne and Mike, Deanne would regularly text message her using girl code that they had about doing nails for when she needed to talk about her relationship troubles with Mike that she was having. Deanne had apparently contacted her longtime friend, Michael Carini, and said that the relationship she was in was unhealthy. Okay, so I started having visions of her. The first thing I saw, she was walking with Randy and James. She seemed lucid, happy. And then I continue to see her walking and she's by herself. Okay. I see a pickup truck pull up and the guy is telling her to get in the truck and she's kind of like fighting him and he's like, get the F in the truck. And she walks over to the truck like she's going to get in, and then I guess she changed her mind, so she kind of like barrels away. So he puts the truck in park. He runs out. He grabs her. She's running away. He grabs her. He throws her into the truck. I see them in the truck. She's trying to get away from him. He's got her arm. He's got a hold of her. She's screaming, cussing. He's cussing, yelling at her. I see him whip over, put the truck in park, and I see him strangle her. Then I see later, it's dark. It's like really dark at this point, and I see him pulling up to a wooded area, and I see him getting out, pulling her out of the truck, and dragging her like into this wooded area. I think this was Mike, and I think he did it. That's my opinion, y'all. He did it. I tried to connect with her. I wasn't able to. I'm not sure why. I definitely think her a-hole of a boyfriend did it. I know this case is kind of bizarre because you have James and the other dude, and you know, they definitely were in a position to rob her and all this, but none of that happened. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, the person that she loved in the world did this to her. He's a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully he'll be arrested and hopefully they'll find her body. But that's what I was getting, you guys. Be nice, be kind, stay safe, stay healthy. I hope everybody's doing amazing. I know there's a lot going on in this world, you guys, but just hang in there. Yeah, that about does it for me. Bye, guys.